to bring up another member of our community who is incredibly thoughtful and measured in her words. Please welcome Cici Chow.
Bonjour, mes amis. Hi, friends. My name is Cici Chow, and my pronouns are she and her. I am an Asian trans woman living in Mohkinstis, and I am the child of Chinese immigrant parents. But I grew up here in the 70s and 80s. I was raised to take the role of firstborn male heir to the family name. I was assigned the roles of a son, a boy, a man, a boyfriend, a husband, and father. For 42 years, I worked so hard to fill those roles that were handed to me, but never really belonged to me. I came out almost 5 years ago, and I lost and gained so very much. I lost my patriarchal privileges. I lost so many people, friends, extended family, and my parents, because they all refused to accept me in my truth. But I found a community that saw my truth in me. I lost my 17-year marriage, but I gained a sister co-parent in my ex-spouse who, despite being the one person who gave and lost the most, was only ever loving towards me as I discovered my truths. I also gained so much. I found freedom from the shame given to me by stories that did not belong to me. I found freedom in fashion when for the first time I could express the beauty in my soul with the clothing that I wore instead of hiding my gender behind clothing. I became a better parent in my authenticity. I earned the respect of my children instead of demanding what I thought I was entitled to. And with the help of my surgeon and my doctor, I found a home in my body that I did not know I could have. I was no longer deviant or an abomination. I was and am simply transgender. I am a woman, and in my transition, I found me. Sometimes people ask if I have any regrets in my transition, and truthfully, I do, 2 of them. The first is that I broke my ex-wife's heart when we could no longer be lovers after I came out. And the second is that I wasn't able to come out sooner. I exhibited gender nonconformity as young as age 8. And every day as a child, I worked so hard to be a boy. And every day I worked so hard to not be a girl. I struggled massively with my gender assigned at birth in high school and especially university when, for the first time, I was making decisions for myself. But even then, I could not find my authentic self because I could not see anybody like me out in the world. An out Asian queer in the 80s? Rare. An Asian transgender lesbian in the 90s? Not a chance. And even now, Asian trans women is often equated to Thai trans sex workers. But that wasn't me. I wasn't a Thai sex worker. I wasn't a drag queen, and I sure as hell wasn't the villain from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. I was just a girl that the world told time and time again, you are a boy, and later a woman who was told time and time again, you are a man. Had I, in childhood, only had a glimpse of an Asian trans woman who loves women and non-men, is an entrepreneur, has 2 beautiful children, became sister co-parent with her ex-wife, and has an amazing community supporting her, my life would have been so different. As a child, I would have released the shame that I held. Instead, I would have embraced my intrinsic beauty and femininity. I would have learned to love little child me. As an adult, had I only had a glimpse, just a tiny one, my life would have been so different. I would have learned to care gently and softly rather than strictly. I would have learned to embrace diversity rather than segregate through Christian hate. I would have learned to love adult me. When I started, I fully intended to transition discreetly in my own little corner of Calgary as quietly as possible. But that's not a luxury that I can afford. That's not a luxury that the 2S LGBTQIA+ community can afford. It is not a luxury that Calgarians can afford. It is so very, very hard to be what you cannot see. And we need our children to see that they can be who they are and live life abundantly. And we need the adults who grew up the way that I grew up to know that they can be who they are and live abundantly. We need Calgarians, all of us, to see that we need to speak louder, stand taller, and prouder. And that's why I'm standing here with you all today. It's why I share way too much on Instagram, and it's why I share way too much on TikTok. Visible is the most dangerous way for me to exist in this world. Yet, visible is the most important way for us to live.
This flag flies over the city for every trans person and non-binary person here to say that we are welcome. We will live here and thrive here together.